Question 1. You must exit a highway using an off-ramp that curves downhill. What should you do? A. Brake hard in the middle of the curve. B. Maintain your highway speed until you are on the ramp. C. Accelerate before the curve to use momentum. D. Slow down to a safe speed before the curve. Correct answer, D. Slow down to a safe speed before the curve. Question 2. When exiting or entering on a curved freeway ramp you should A. Maintain a speed 6 to 10 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. B. Maintain a speed 4 to 10 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. C. Maintain a speed 7 to 10 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. D. Maintain a speed 5 to 10 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. Correct answer, D. Maintain a speed 5 to 10 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. Question 3. When starting a bus on a level surface with good traction, which action is generally not required? A. Applying heavy acceleration. B. Checking mirrors for traffic and pedestrians. C. Releasing the parking or service brakes. D. Ensuring the transmission is in the correct gear. Correct answer, A. Applying heavy acceleration. Question 4. What is the most important reason to inspect your truck or bus? A. To avoid fines and legal penalties. B. To prevent costly breakdowns on the road. C. To comply with company policy. D. Safety. Correct answer, D. Safety. Question 5. What three distances build up the total stopping distance of your truck or bus? A. Following distance, skidding distance, and lag distance. B. Alert distance, reaction distance, and tire distance. C. Brake lag distance, following distance, and stopping distance. D. Perception, reaction, and braking distance. Correct answer, D. Perception, reaction, and braking distance. Question 6. Can state inspectors inspect your truck or bus? A. Only if you are at a designated weigh station. B. Only if you have been involved in an accident. C. Only if your company grants them permission. D. Yes, and they can put you out of service if unsafe. Correct answer, D. Yes, and they can put you out of service if unsafe. Question 7. When exiting a highway using an off-ramp that curves downhill, you should A. Slow down to 6 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. B. Slow down to 4 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. C. Slow down to 8 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. D. Slow down to 5 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. Correct answer, D. Slow down to 5 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. Question 8. Trucks and buses are subject to which regulations? A. Laws and restrictions can vary from place to place. B. The same regulations as passenger cars. C. Only federal regulations, with no state or local rules. D. Regulations that only apply when carrying cargo. Correct answer, A. Laws and restrictions can vary from place to place. Question 9. When approaching an uncontrolled railroad crossing, you should A. Slow down, look, and listen. B. Speed up to cross the tracks as quickly as possible. C. Stop directly on the tracks to check for trains. D. Continue at your current speed unless you hear a horn. Correct answer, A. Slow down, look, and listen. Question 10. If you see flashing red lights at a railroad crossing, you should A. Honk repeatedly to warn a potential train. B. Stop and look both ways before crossing. C. Proceed with caution if no train is visible. D. Slow down and prepare to stop only if the gate is down. Correct answer, B. Stop and look both ways before crossing. Question 11. When is it okay to let passengers ride in the cargo area of a CMV? A. Only if designed and equipped for passengers. B. If the trip is less than 10 miles. C. If the cargo area has been swept clean. D. Never, under any circumstances. Correct answer, A. Only if designed and equipped for passengers. Question 12. When can you use a radar detector in a commercial vehicle? A. Only in states where they are legal for cars. B. Only if your company authorizes it in writing. C. Only when you are running late. D. Never. Correct answer, D. Never. Question 13. Which is the most important thing to remember about emergency braking? A. Brakes should be pumped repeatedly to avoid overheating. B. If the wheels are skidding, you cannot control your vehicle. C. Downshifting is more effective than using the service brake. D. The parking brake should be used to assist in stopping. Correct answer, B. If the wheels are skidding, you cannot control your vehicle. Question 14. If you need to leave the road in a traffic emergency, you should? A. Brake as hard as possible before steering off-road. B. Avoid braking until you have completely left the roadway. C. Aim for a soft object like a bush or open field. D. Get all wheels off the pavement. Correct answer, D. Get all wheels off the pavement. Question 15. According to the driver's manual, why should you limit the use of your horn? A. It can startle other drivers. B. It can damage the vehicle's electrical system. C. It uses a significant amount of battery power. D. It is illegal to use in most cities. Correct answer, A. It can startle other drivers. Question 16. Your vehicle has hydraulic brakes. While traveling on a level road, you press the brake pedal and it goes to the floor. What should you do? A. Downshift immediately to the lowest gear. B. Pumping the brake pedal may bring the pressure up so you can stop the vehicle. C. Turn off the ignition to use engine compression to stop. D. Steer into the nearest ditch or soft shoulder. Correct answer, B. Pumping the brake pedal may bring the pressure up so you can stop the vehicle. Question 17. You are driving a vehicle at 55 miles per hour on dry pavement. About how much total stopping distance will you need? A. About 250 feet, the length of a city block. B. About 325 feet, the length of a soccer field. C. About 419 feet, more than a football field. D. About 500 feet, nearly 2 city blocks. Correct answer, C. About 419 feet, more than a football field. Question 18. What is true about downshifting? A. When you downshift for a curve, do so before you enter the curve. B. Downshifting is only necessary on steep mountain grades. C. The clutch should be pressed down the entire time you are in a curve. D. Always downshift 2 gears at a time for maximum effect. Correct answer, A. When you downshift for a curve, do so before you enter the curve. Question 19. For your safety, when setting out reflective triangles, you should? A. Place the first triangle as far from the vehicle as possible. B. Set out the triangles only after you have called for help. C. Wear bright clothing but do not worry about traffic. D. Hold the triangles between yourself and oncoming traffic. Correct answer, D. Hold the triangles between yourself and oncoming traffic. Question 20. Which is a good thing to remember about using mirrors? A. You should check your mirrors every 30 seconds. B. Relying solely on mirrors eliminates all blind spots. C. You only need to check mirrors when changing lanes. D. There are blind spots that your mirrors cannot show. Correct answer, D. There are blind spots that your mirrors cannot show. Question 21. Hydroplaning is more likely if? A. You are driving a heavily loaded vehicle. B. Your tires have deep, new tread. C. You are driving at a very slow speed. D. Tire pressure is low. Correct answer, D. Tire pressure is low. Question 22. If you were being tailgate, you should A. Increase your following distance. B. Tap your brakes sharply to warn the tailgater. C. Speed up to get away from the tailgater. D. Signal the tailgater to pass you. Correct answer, A. Increase your following distance. Question 23. How do you correct a rear wheel acceleration skid? A. Stop accelerating. B. Apply the brakes firmly but do not lock them up. C. Steer sharply in the opposite direction of the skid. D. Press the clutch in and hold it down. Correct answer, A. Stop accelerating. Question 24. You should stop driving? A. After you have driven for the maximum 11 hours allowed. B. Whenever you become sleepy. C. Only when you reach your planned destination. D. When you feel a little tired but are still alert. Correct answer, B. Whenever you become sleepy. Question 25. What is not a good rule to follow when caring for an injured person at an accident scene? A. Try to move them out of the road immediately. B. Keep an injured person cool. C. Administer water if they are conscious. D. Assume they are fine if they say they are. Correct answer, B. Keep an injured person cool. Question 26. You should avoid driving through deep puddles or flowing water, but if you must, what should you do to keep your brakes working? A. Speed up to get through the water quickly. B. Pump the brakes hard after exiting the water. C. Gently put on the brakes while driving through the water. D. Avoid using the brakes for several miles afterward. Correct answer, C. Gently put on the brakes while driving through the water. Question 27. You are driving a heavy vehicle with a manual transmission and must stop the vehicle on the shoulder while driving on an uphill grade. What is a good rule to follow when putting it back in motion up the grade? A. Roll backwards slightly to gain momentum. B. Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. C. Rev the engine to maximum RPM before releasing the clutch. D. Start in a higher gear to prevent stalling. Correct answer, B. Use the parking brake to hold the vehicle until the clutch engages. Question 28. You must park on the side of a level, straight, four-lane-divided highway. Where should you place the reflective triangles? A. One within 16 feet of rear, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 200 feet to the rear. B. One within 10 feet of rear, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 200 feet to the rear. C. One within 8 feet of rear, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 200 feet to the rear. D. One within 12 feet of rear, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 200 feet to the rear. Correct answer, B. One within 10 feet of rear, one about 100 feet to the rear, and one about 200 feet to the rear. Question 29. Brake fade can be caused by A. The brakes getting very hot. B. Cold weather freezing the brake fluid. C. Air pressure in the system being too high. D. Worn out brake lights. Correct answer, A. The brakes getting very hot. Question 30. What is true about overhead clearance? A. Posted clearance signs are always accurate for the entire road width. B. The weight of your cargo can change your vehicle's height. C. If the road surface tilts, take the highest point usually near the center and go slow, stop and check if unsure. D. You only need to worry about overhead clearance in tunnels. Correct answer, C. If the road surface tilts, take the highest point usually near the center and go slow, stop and check if unsure.